Hey everyone, JJ Wilson here, and for this video I just want to give my thoughts on the sports anime, Ahiru no Sora. In English I believe it's called Sora the Duck, and Sora is the name of the main protagonist in this anime, Sora Kurumatani. Got a long last name. But yeah man, this dude here, of course this is in high school. And this kid, Sora, is he's very, very talented in the game of basketball. This guy, he can do everything but post up, apparently. He can do all those things but post up. And this kid gets tested, you know. He definitely gets tested in terms of his passion for the game and his relationship with a lot of people around him. Just by starting how he got to be where he was in his particular school, Kuzu High School in the Kanagawa Prefecture in Japan. Apparently he's not from that area. He's not from the Kanagawa area. He came down there originally from Nagano Prefecture, I think. So he came from the country, so he's not even a city kid. He's more like a country boy. And he's down there because his mom, forgive me if I can't remember her name exactly, his mother is very sick. But before she was sick, before she had Sora, her son, she was a member of the women's national basketball team for Japan. So that can explain how Sora is so gifted in the game, because his mom was very skilled at the game of basketball too. And so that's how she got her, this is how she became notable in the game of basketball. And I guess over time her son, learned about her story, and he wanted to be kind of like her. He wanted to learn about the game at an early age too, and then eventually he got really, really good. But then he was forced to move to the city with his grandmother, and so that's where he lives with his grandmother's, because I'm not sure what happened to his dad. I can't remember exactly. I guess they separated at some point, or yeah, they probably did separate, I guess, because I guess he couldn't bear the burden of his wife being sick. I'm not gonna tell you the disease that she has, so because you'll find that they hint on it. The makers of the series, they kind of hinted on what she had, like by the end of the season, but I'm not gonna say how or what. That's for you guys to look at. So going back to Sora, so yeah, he's staying with his grandmother in Kanagawa Prefecture. His mom is there too, because they moved her first, and she's being treated at this fancy hospital over there. And because of that, for some reason, his mom doesn't want his son. Sora's mother doesn't want Sora to go see her, like every time. So they kind of have to keep themselves separate, because Sora cares about his mom very much. So they have to do subtle things to kind of communicate, like through cell phone and by sending little gifts and things like that. So that's how they kind of keep in touch. And so she just wants him to not worry about her so much and focus on school. But, with Sora being Sora, his passion for basketball kind of superseded school at times. And he goes to the high school and realizes that there's no basketball team. He ends up, but he sees guys at the gym, and they just kind of horsing around. They're playing, and he asks those guys if they like basketball, and he tell them to get lost, punk. You're just a little weirdo and things like that. So yeah, he got bullied early on in the season. He gets bullied quite a bit by these dudes, these delinquents, especially the three guys that later joined the team. Yasu, Saki, aka Chucky. No, not Chucky Fister from Rugrats. And the last one, his name is Nabe, or Nabeshima. So those guys bully him, and turns out the leader of their little gang is Momoharu, and he's one of the twin brothers, one of the Hanazono twin brothers, and the other one has an afro named Chiaki. So let me talk about Momoharu for a second. So Momoharu, him and his brother, they used to be basketball players, but they kind of quit because, well, I'm not going to say exactly how they quit, because that's kind of giving it away. But yeah, they used to be ball players back in middle school, and they just kind of became like I ain't gonna say, well, Shiaki wasn't really a gang member. He was just kind of doing his own thing. But Momohara was a delinquent, so to speak. And so that's how he lost his passion for the game, and he just started doing whatever he wanted to do until he met Sora. And he's watching this kid play ball, and he's like, man, you know, this dude is so good. He's kind of reminding me how I used to be, even though I'm nowhere near as skilled as he is. And so a couple of events happened here and there, and eventually Momohara said, you know what, I'm gonna start playing ball again. I'm gonna start playing. And that's how he and Sora became friends. And then it kind of trickled over to the other three guys on the gang, and then they all started playing ball with each other and stuff, even with after everything that's transpired. And they do have games. They had an unofficial game with another school, because I think the twin brothers, that they had like a relationship with one of the star players on that squad. And so yeah, they played a pickup game, and of course they didn't win. They got their butts kicked. And somehow, I gotta remember, somehow they met their eventual head coach. It's a little girl, actually. Her name is Now. So they meet the coach. Oh, there's another character that Sora. It's like two girls that Sora likes. So one of them is the head coach, and the other one is a member of the girls basketball team at his same high school. So the girls have a team of their own, but the boys don't really have an official basketball team, because not enough guys are interested. So yeah, so before Sora met the head coach, he meets Madoka. So she's like the star player of the girls team, and she notices that he's very skilled as well, and he's kind of encouraging him, you know, to maybe somehow, you know, develop a ball club, and you know, if you need any help, I'll help you out in that regard, that type of deal. So yeah, let me go back to the head coach. So her name is Now, and she's very knowledgeable in the game, ironically. But because of her small stature, it's kind of weird. Like, she's small just like Sora is, but because of her small stature, she's not really able to play basketball at a high level. Unlike Sora, who can do it, but she kind of predicts, like, as, you know, the guys get older, like, he's not going to be able to withstand all the competition, you know, especially if he tries to play at the college level. So it's going to be kind of difficult for him as he gets older, if he's going to maintain his ability to play basketball at a high level. So Now decided, instead of just doing that, she runs a sports shop. And so, yeah, that's what she was doing before she decided to become a head coach and a team manager and all that stuff. And so, before that could even go down, Sora finds another guy. And this dude, he's probably one of my favorite characters in this anime, other than Chiaki. This dude, this guy I'm talking about, he's basically the Japanese Allen Iverson. He's the Japanese Allen Iverson. His name is Kenji Natsume. His nickname is Kite, or Kite in Japanese, Kite. So, Kite, he's playing with an old basketball and shit. So he's playing with that. And Sora happens to catch him one day, going back home. And he's like, man, this guy's really good. But, you know, he's a delinquent himself, because he's always getting into fights and stuff. And Sora just kept begging this dude to join the team. Like, we're about to form a basketball team. And eventually he does join, but that's only after they find out that there's a teacher in that program that kind of hears about them wanting to form a basketball team, and he eventually became their advisor. But before, they had to tell the principal about this, and they had to make a deal. Like, all the guys on the eventual team had to make a deal that they can't get into fights. And so they find out that Kite got into a fight, even though he never officially joined the team, and then they're about to get disbanded. But then Sora challenges Kite to like a dribble game, to where Sora had to steal the basketball or whatever. So that was one of my favorite episodes there. Like, like Kite just crossing him up over and over and over again. And then he got careless, and he finally got stripped and stuff like that. I mean, it was pretty funny, but it got pretty serious at the same time. And then everything kind of worked itself out. They eventually formed a team, and yeah, they made the vow to not get in any fights and things like that. And I know by the end of the season, there's one more player that joins. It's a tall guy, real tall dude, and he's very skilled, just like Sora is. But he stopped playing for a while, so he's a bit rusty. But the guys could tell he was really, really skilled. He's their tallest player. His nickname is Mokichi. His real name is Kaname Shigeyoshi. And the dude he's like I said, he's real tall, somewhat athletic, but has a bit of a weak constitution, so he gets sick kind of easily. He's always catching colds and stuff. And it turns out he played the game up until they lost a championship, because he played for a rich high school and he's rich himself. They lost a final game to win the title, and I guess from there he got disappointed and he let down one of his girlfriends. He never really said that was his girlfriend, but this girl, she was like a big fan of his, and when they lost that game, she got let down. And they kind of separated after a while. Then she eventually finds another guy to date, and Shigeyoshi, he felt sad about that. And then of course he sees Sora he bumps into Sora, and then a couple of the guys ask him, it's Sora and Kite, they ask him do they want to join the team, and he kind of lied to say he lost interest in basketball when that wasn't true. He just didn't want to. He always had high expectations upon himself, and he let a lot of people down, especially after that championship game. And, he just didn't want to go through that experience anymore. But then, after meeting, after being confronted by Kite, he felt real bad about what he did. And so eventually he came to his senses and he apologized to the guys, and he wanted to make it up for him by joining the team. And Sora, ironically, didn't really approve of that. He's like, you're going to have to show me you're really serious. And then they played each other. So and eventually the one-on-one matchup, I'm not gonna say who won that battle between him and Sora, but describing you earlier how small Sora is and how big that dude is, you get the idea. But I'm not gonna say how they lost or how they won, okay? But yeah, overall, this is a dope anime. I'm not even gonna lie, it's pretty deeper. It's a lot deeper than I realized. I say, as far as philosophy of the game, I say it's actually better than Kuroko no Basket. I have to say. Even though Kuroko no Basket was pretty cool too. Because those guys in that anime, they were doing all these super crazy moves, and they were like powering up like Dragon Ball Z in the court. That joke was crazy. But this one, it's a little bit more down to earth, but at the same time, it's a very there's a lot of life lessons in it too. So I do recommend you guys checking it out if people are in sports, and if you especially like basketball and things of that nature. It's a good anime. I definitely enjoyed watching all 24 episodes. There was so much going on, I just can't remember every little detail. Oh yeah, I forgot to talk about the other twin brother, Chiaki. Chiaki, he's the funniest one in that whole show, man. He's always eating chips. He looks like he's out of shape, but he's actually very good. And before Kite came around, and Sora could have been the point guard, but he wasn't experienced enough. But he's actually the point guard of the team, and other than Sora, he's like the most experienced player on that squad, besides him, and besides Sora and Kite. So Chiaki, he can pass, and he can tell guys what to do on the court and everything. And he keeps his cool throughout most situations in the game. So in a way, he was like a Magic Johnson type player in that game. And he can actually dunk. The only guys on the squad that can dunk is him and Shigeyoshi or Mokichi. Yeah, so him, like those guys on the team, they can actually dunk. Believe it or not. Momoharu, his twin brother, he can jump high enough to dunk, but he has yet to do it yet. And Kite, he's a little bit too short to dunk, but he can do damn near everything else, man. Like, he can ball. I'm telling you, watch Kite. It's Allen Iverson, Japan's Allen Iverson. I swear. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see when the second season comes out. I think there will be a season 2. I think, hopefully. I hope the anime did good enough to get a season 2. How many minutes I'm on? Okay, I'm almost 15 minutes in. So let me end it off here. Guys, definitely check out this anime. It definitely has some memorable characters on there. Like I said, life lessons and stuff like that. And tell me in the comment section if you watched the anime already, or if you haven't yet to see it, just tell me what you think about it once you do see it. Okay? And that's going to be all from here. I'll see you all on the next review, whenever that might be. Later.